Hello and welcome to another LoopCloud live stream. I'm going to be your host. My name's Rob Jones from producertech.com, home of quality online music training. And in this stream, we're not just going to be showing you a load of techniques for working with LoopCloud, but we're also going to be giving you the opportunity to win stuff through competitions that we're going to be doing throughout the stream at various points, as well as a big competition that we're launching as well. So to give us more details about all of that, I'm going to bring in LoopCloud's Joshua Casper. Josh, hello.
Hey man, how are you?
Very good, thanks. Yourself?
I can't complain. How's the weather over there in Germany? Is it cold these days?
Yeah, it's sitting at around 0, so it's kind of threatening bits of snow. Quite different from your environment. How is it there?
32 every day, all day.
Oof. Yeah.
I could actually do with a little bit of 0-degree weather right now. Just a little bit. About 3 months of it, and then be done with it, right?
Yeah, you say that. I mean, I'm all right with it right now, but yeah, by March, all the layers are going to start to get to me.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Well, as you were saying, first of all, hello everybody that's here watching the video, and to the future people who come to watch it later. I'm Joshua Casper, and I'm here with Rob Jones, as he said. And we've got a lot going on with LoopCloud, and there's going to be a lot going on this channel, so definitely subscribe if you're not already. We've got a bunch lined up, and we're really kicking it off here with this first stream, and we're going to keep this sort of thing going. And the way it's going to work for the foreseeable future is we're going to do this stream, and we're going to kick off a sort of remix competition that will be done entirely inside of LoopCloud. And you'll have 1 week to submit your entries. All the details are coming shortly. And later on in the stream, Rob is actually going to show you hands-on how to get started. He's going to actually go ahead and start the project in LoopCloud and show you how he would do it. And then in the following live stream, which will happen in 2 weeks' time, we're going to go ahead and present the winners. Well, there's actually going to be one winner, but we're going to dissect the top projects that we get. So the next stream could be your project that we walk through with the entire community to see how you used LoopCloud and everything it has to offer to make an incredible song starter. And then the following 2 weeks, so in a month's time from now, we're going to do another contest with another pack with essentially the same breakdown in terms of structure. And then the following 2 weeks after that, we're going to do another review of those tracks. So that's kind of the broad overview of what we're starting today. Specifically about the contest that we're breaking down today, I'm going to pull up my notes here. We've got a lot of information. The way this is going to work, right, is you're going to jump into LoopCloud, and you have to make a LoopCloud session using the 8 tracks of LoopCloud. You can use less, but I'm guessing you're going to want to use all 8. And you can only use one-shots or loops from the selected pack that we've chosen. This month or this week is Crazy Ibiza, and that's how I say it, Rob. I know that I'm saying Ibiza wrong. I get crap for it all the time. Do you know how to say it correctly?
Well, Ibiza, but I say Ibiza as well. Crazy Ibiza. Crazy Ibiza. A bit
like
more of a mouthful.
TH, like Ibiza. Yeah. So anyway, it's Crazy Ibiza, a duo that's been around on the scene. It's releases on Defected, Ministry of Sound, huge record labels, quality tracks, and the sample pack is from them, and it's an absolute banger. It is a house style sample pack, but you do not need to keep it in-house. You can do any genre you want, any genre, any BPM, any style, whatever you want to do, as long as it's inside of LoopCloud, inside of those 8 tracks. So the way it's going to work is once you have your project, you need to save your session file, and there's a link in the video description. You need to upload the LoopCloud session file, and this is very important here. We will not be listening to WAV files. We will not be listening to MP3s. We definitely won't be opening zip files. Just upload the LoopCloud session file right into the Dropbox that's linked in the video description. If you don't know how to save LoopCloud session files, I believe Rob's going to show you that in a minute. Mm-hmm. He's also going to show you how to find the pack inside of LoopCloud. All you got to do is type its name. It's Crazy Ibiza Discotheque. Again, that information is in the video description if you need help with the spelling. It's spelled a little bit differently than maybe it should be. And So once you've done your project, once you have it and cemented it, you've uploaded it, you have 1 week from today to do it. So what is that? I already told you, but I believe I've forgotten here.
21st.
Yes, January 21st till the end of the day, January 21st, to upload to that Dropbox. After that, we won't be accepting anything else, so make sure to get it done. So you got a week's time to get this done. And let me just make sure. We will announce the winners, as I said, in 2 weeks' time on the 28th in that stream. And in that stream, the one winner will be announced, and I'll talk about the prizes in 1 second. And we'll also be reviewing the top submissions and just showcase the different ways you can use LoopCloud to create different styles, different genres, and so on. And also, the winner's project will be played on our socials. So our Instagram, our YouTube, our Twitter. We'll get a little bit of promotion for you. We'll be able to tag you in the, in the video or whatever sort of animation is there accompanying the project, and we'll give you a bunch of exposure that way as well. Also, one other thing about rules: when you upload the LoopCloud project file, you want to title it as your YouTube name. So mine would be Joshua Casper. I believe it's LC session, and that's how I would upload the file, and that's how we'll be able to get in touch with you. Let's talk about prizes, Robbie. You pumped about these prizes?
Let's do it.
Big. Yeah, it's a pretty big prize package here. First of all, LoopCloud Points, 1,000 LoopCloud Points to use in the LoopCloud store as you see fit. A LoopCloud T-shirt, which Rob is actually wearing right now. I'm not sure if it'll be the white one or the dark one, but once you're a winner, we're going to go ahead and hook you up with that. We'll just need your address and stuff. And then a bundle of plugins from Plugin Boutique. So we're going to give you KHORDS, which is Loop Masters actually, Bass Master, which again is Loop Masters, and BigKick, Scalar 2, and CarbonElectra. So a bundle of plugins there. You've got 3 instruments. You've got Scalar, you've got BigKick, which I guess is an instrument as well. And as I already said, the winning entry will be uploaded to our social. So lots to win there. Oh my gosh, I'm installing file. Oh. Lots to win there. Am I still online, Rob?
You're still there. You're still there, man. Yeah.
Goldie is trying to install things on my computer just randomly here.
Oh, weird.
And that's it. That's the gist of it. Rob's going to jump in and show you again how to find the pack, how to save your project file, and the link to upload is in the description. So if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the chat right now, or after the video is done, go ahead and leave them in the description, and someone from the LoopCloud team will respond to you so we make sure everybody's on the same page. But I'm very excited to check this out. Very excited to watch what you're going to do right now. If you want to give us kind of a brief explanation and then go ahead and jump in, Rob, I'll leave it with you.
Well, just before that, very quickly, well, first up, feel free to ask us any questions right now, or while I'm doing the demo, and we can try and address them if they're short things that we can answer in this session. The other thing, we're going to do a giveaway right now. So
yeah, we should definitely give away some points. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
So if you want to right now 500 LoopCloud points, just go ahead and leave something in the chat, and someone from the team is going to take down your name, and we'll announce that at the end of the stream. We're going to do that actually 3 times today, Rob. Right now, so go ahead and leave your comments. Then midway through, we're going to do another one, and then towards the end we'll do one more, and then wrap it up and announce the winners. And just wait for these awesome project files to start rolling in to see what the LoopCloud community can do with this incredible pack.
Nice one. Thanks, man. Okay, so let's jump into LoopCloud then, and I'll show you the first example. See you in a bit, Josh.
All right.
Okay, so here we have LoopCloud. So for the first one, I wanted to show you mainly using loops. So we're going to keep it quite simple. I think I'm probably in the right place here. Maybe I'll just switch over to me being on the other side, so I'm not going to get in the way here. There we go. Switch back in a bit. So first of all then, to find the pack, and I'm using this as standalone mode, by the way, so not with the door right now. So to find the pack, I'm just going to type Crazy Beezer into the top. Hang on, I had a space on the start. Don't have a space on the start, otherwise it gets confused. And then you can see in the product listings, below that, you can see the second option there. Oops, sorry, let's do that again. Second option there is Crazy Beezer Discotheque. So if I click on that, it brings up the pack. And now I can browse through any of the samples in the pack. So I could just scroll through them. They're just a long list there. And what I can do is just click on these different tags here. This shows you how they've all been tagged up. So if I click on more there, I can then see all of the different tags that have been applied to the samples in the pack. So if I want to find a drum loop, I just click on drum, loops, and then it brings up the different options here. So if I then click on these, I can then add them to the player in track 1 to listen to them. And I'm using the arrow keys on my keyboard there just to step up and down. And because it's in standalone mode, you can, if you want, at this point, change the BPM. So it's completely up to you what BPM you set it to when you're running in standalone mode there, and it's set right there. So straight away, I'm just going to move on to track 2. So I click on that now. I can leave my drums as they are on track 1. And now we're going to add a bass loop to this. So now I just need to change the tag to synth bass. No, bass loops. Here we go. If I click on them now, it will load them into track 2. So they'll now play along with our drums. Sounding good. This one, by the way, obviously I'm sticking to house, as you can tell, mostly because I'm using the loops. But in the next example, we're going to be using more one-shots, and we're going to be changing up the genre, probably to trap. So if you see down here in the corner, we've got the main volume level. So this controls all of the tracks together, but we can also change the independent levels of the different tracks using the mini sliders down here. Right now they're kind of all right though. So let's just go straight into track 3. And what you might like to do, actually we'll do this later on when we're working with one shots where you create a second tab. So let's just keep going as we are and go into the chord, no, synth, loops. So adding our first kind of melodic loop onto this then, if I click on it, what I can do now is I can tune it to the bass line. So going back to the bass here, I can see it's in C. So I just select C here as the key, and you can see it then auto tunes any loops that I add. That one's sounding nice. So I'm just going to switch myself back now over to this side. And now what we're going to do is just perform a couple of edits to these different parts. So going to our drums here, let's say we wanted to just create a kind of fill at the end of the drum loop. So what I'm going to do is zoom into that part. I'm going to, actually I'll just solo it as well. Click on the solo switch, you can see there behind me. And then we can use the different tools here to slice up the sample. So I could just chop it certain points where I want it to maybe drop out. You can also trim it here, just dragging the edges. You see it snaps to the grid, as you can see. You can turn off the grid if you want to do it freely, or you can set it to a different amount if you're not seeing what you want. So you could set it to 1/16 there, and then you could slice it. And you can also temporarily switch to the split tool without having to go up and do it yourself, just by holding down the Alt key. You can see it switches to it. So it's kind of a faster way there of just slicing without having to go up to the tools. So I'm going to get rid of that one, and we can now click on the top here. Sounded quite good just with a dropout there. I'm also going to then chop here, and I'm going to duplicate this slice, which I can do in a couple of ways. I can either drag it here, so there's a bit of space there, and then Command D, or I'm doing that just with Command Z. I can hold down the Command key and then just drag it. So it's a bit like the Alt drag or Option drag you have in the DAW. And I'm going to bring this one right down, and I'm going to make it a bit smaller as well. So yeah, just some of the simple tools you've got here. We'll go into some of the others later on, like scrub and reverse and pitch adjust. Actually, let's do pitch adjust now. We'll go over to the synth loop and let's just create a bit of a shift at the end here. So I'm holding Alt, not making a slice there. They're holding Alt, slicing the last bar so it's separate. And then I can go to the pitch tool and I can just bring it up by a couple of semitones. Nice. Just going to bring down this synth a little bit. Cool. So for track 4, I want another melodic sound. So what I'm going to do is go to the Rhodes loops, and then I'm going to choose, there's one in here that's really nice, this one here. Again, I might want to auto-tune it. Although sometimes with the more complex ones, when you auto-tune them, it does it to a different key or a slightly different kind of sounding key. So sometimes you might want to do it manually yourself. Let's have a listen. Yeah, so I want to drop this one down a bit more. Sounding better to me. If you want, you can try out the upper octave by clicking the octave switch. I think I like it lower down. I might consider, you know, bringing up the melodic sounds a bit so I didn't have to go down by quite so much there. But for now, I'm just going to leave it as it is. And what we'll do now is create a bit of a breakdown. I think we've got all our main sounds in. Yeah, so we're going to switch to track 5 and we're going to use it. Actually, let's just increase these out. I'll show you how you basically stretch it out to make a longer loop. So what I do now, actually let's show a simple one first. Let's go to the bass, which we've done nothing to. Click on that one. And at the moment you can see it's 4 bars long. So then just hit Command D to duplicate it out as many bars as I need to. So that's done it all the way up to start of 17. So we got a 16 bar loop here now. And then if I just drag out the loop bracket, it's going to set it back to auto so it's easier to see. Now we got a 16 bar loop with the bass going all the way through. Our drums is a little bit different because we've got some spaces here. Actually, I think it might work the same. Let's try. Yeah, no, it does work the same. So yeah, just select them all like that, which I did by clicking one, holding Shift, and then clicking the others. And then I can do exactly the same thing. Just Command D a few times. And then drag out the loop bracket. For this one though, what we're going to do is actually get rid of all of these and have a tops loop across this section. So what I'm doing is clicking with the mouse at the end here and then dragging over them, holding it down, and then hitting delete, and that gets rid of them. So what we can do then with track 5, we could add a top loop. Let's see if you can see top loop. There it is, top loops. I'll just solo this one for a second. We'll just go with that one for now. So for this one then, I'm going to do the same thing. Click on it to select. Command D to duplicate it out. Drag the loop bracket to the end. And for this one, I actually just want to get rid of these. So I can either click on them and delete them, or I can just double click them to mute them, which just turns them off there. So now, when we get to bar 9, the drums will drop out and the tops will take over. So what might we like now? We could have a sort of FX, some different effects here to fill the gaps. So we could have a, let's click here, go to effects, and have one of these sounds. Let's see what we got. one's quite cool. Just going to click on it. You can see it's already actually gone up to the end of the 8 bars, so I can just hit duplicate again. And we could just have it in both those places. So we get a nice impact now at the end of the groove section going to the breakdown. Sounding good. I'm just going to bring the level of that one down a bit. Cool, so let's go for another FX sound in track 7. So I'm clicking on that now, and now we want to look for some kind of a riser. Here we go. And for this one, quite simply, I'm just going to drag it to the right place. So let's just increase this loop bracket out to 17, and then just drag this. And once we get to the end here, I can hold down Shift, so I can just drag it exactly to the right place. So we get the very end of the loudest part of the riser right there. I could also chop it if I wanted to, and what we could consider doing is maybe just dragging that over to the beginning. But let's check out how that sounds. Probably going to want to turn it down a bit. Sorry, I keep dragging my mouse, which is why that little message is coming up there. And finally, let's just quickly add a crash onto this. So, cymbal, look for the crashes. That one looks good. There are some with FX as well, if you want a kind of longer one. Let's just go with that one, why not? And again, it's 4 bars long here, so I can just click on it, duplicate it all the way if I want, just loads, get rid of any I don't want. So we want one at the start of the breakdown maybe, definitely when the groove kicks back in. And yeah, if we wanted to, we could also reverse them here, get a little bit of a build up into our different sections there. So I think I'm going to leave that one there. Let's just have a little play through of it and solo it. Probably do some other things to the bass as well, with filters and all that kind of thing, but I'm going to show you that in the next example, so we can really kind of focus on the more complex things like effects and automation. So if I was happy with this now, again, I'll show this at the end as well with the other example. I would go to the edit menu here and I would choose save session and then just desktop, and I'm going to call it LoopCloud livestream sesh 1, and then that file will appear on my desktop, and then that's the one I can upload to the Dropbox for the competition. So that's our first example. Let's bring Josh back for our Midway competition and feedback and so on. Josh.
Hey.
Hey.
Great tune, man.
Thanks.
I'm always impressed. And you did it so quickly.
Yeah. Well, we're under time constraints here. Hopefully not too quickly for you guys, though. I hope I didn't rush through things too much, but.
No, I mean, you knocked off, a bunch of really good points about LoopCloud. And you also reminded me some other things about the contest. And for people who are tuning in late, be on time next time, first of all. The other thing is we're going to be running a monthly contest using LoopCloud, where you make a song starter essentially inside of LoopCloud using one pack that we decide. This month it's Crazy Ibiza. and discotheque. Rob has already shared how to find that. I just want to point out that we do want the session files, but the length needs to be 8 to 16 bars, only 16 bars. We don't want you to go in and make a full track inside of LoopCloud. That's really not the purpose of LoopCloud. I mean, you can do it if you want, but definitely not for this contest. We only want between 8 and 16 bars. What we're going to be judging on, it'll be myself, it'll be Rob, it'll be some of the other LoopCloud team, is creativity and what you can do with 8 tracks inside of 8 to 16 bars with just that one pack. So I just wanted to point that out. Don't send us 32 bar, 128 bar, fully flushed out track with just 8, 16 bars, make it pop. That's what we're looking for.
Cool.
And yeah, next in 2 weeks time, we're gonna go ahead and review the top picks that we had and announce the one winner. You've got 1 week to do it. And if you are late to the stream, go ahead and check the video description for full details and the links to everything, including the pack on Loopmasters, including the Dropbox where you're going to upload your file, and all the other rules, regulations, and prizes. Prizes, real quick, are 1,000 LoopCloud points, LoopCloud T-shirt, like the one Rob's got on, a bundle of plugins from Loopmasters and Plugin Boutique, and the winner's track will be streamed on our socials with them being tagged in the post to give them a little bit of extra, little push, little social love from the channels.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's where we're at. And right now, if you guys want to go ahead and comment, we're going to be giving away 500 more points right now. So go ahead, comment, and we're going to choose a winner before Rob jumps into the next. Can everybody hear me okay out there, by the way? Just want to make sure. But anyway, go ahead and say something in the chat. We're going to give away 500 more points, and Rob will jump in and show how to use one-shots and patterns, I'm guessing, and other features of LoopCloud to maybe not make a house track, which was what kind of the Crazy Ibiza track pack is into. But yeah, go ahead, Rob. I'll let you do it, and we're going to go ahead and pick a winner right now.
Thanks, Josh. See you in a bit. So jumping back in then, so I've saved my session from the last example, so I'm just going to reset it. And the way I'm going to do it, if I can move out of the way here, in fact I can do it just by right clicking any of them, and you get the options here to clear track, clear all tracks. So I can just choose clear all tracks and they all disappear. So now, actually I will jump over the other side, just so I'm not in the way of track 1 here. So yeah, click on track 1 now to start working with this. But what I'm going to do first though is just add the LoopCloud plugin to a MIDI track here. Now you can see it's connected to Ableton Live, and it's just going to allow me to do a sort of another way of working really. As you saw in the last one, when I was clicking at the top of the player, it sort of puts the playhead to that position so you can play from there. But if you start to get a bit more complex with what you're doing in LoopCloud, you might find it a little bit easier to work with live in the transport section, because what you can do here, just going to close that, is you can loop, or rather loop kind of smaller sections of this 16 bars to play various things back. So we'll get to that in a moment. Oh, the other thing is that it now locks to the doors tempo. So we're set to 140 here. So that's now what the player is set to. So it will automatically lock to your door. And one advantage there is, in fact, you can turn on the metronome. So if you wanted to kind of work with melodic loops and be able to hear your timing in LoopCloud, then you can now do that. Before we do that though, let's actually just see what we want to select. We're going to go with a stab. That classic one's really nice. So let's just arrange this into our own pattern. I know we've kind of been doing everything quite manually so far, so we haven't been going to the patterns here, which is another thing you can do, and I'll show you that for some of the others. But there's tons of different patterns in there that you can choose to sort of create your own arrangements. For now though, we're just going to drag this to certain positions. I'm just going to make the loop a bit smaller to create this rhythm. So we'll just go down to a bar. And yeah, if we wanted to now hear the metronome with it, just start lives transport. So I'm liking that. What I'm going to do is just copy this straight out, actually. I'm just going to click on the end here. And this is where, like I was saying before, instead of just selecting these and hitting duplicate, which you see ignores that gap there, I'm just going to undo that. If I drag over them like that, where I clicked right from here, right from the beginning, on this lightness, it's a bit harder to see, but I'm dragging over this whole area, so selecting the whole thing. Then when I hit duplicate, you can see it includes any gaps you've got there. And then I can just repeat that all the way up to as long as I want. Undo that last one. So now we've got 16 bars again. I'm going for a 16 bar loop once again here. I'll just leave it looped at the start for now because it doesn't really matter. And we'll move on to the next track. And this is going to be a kick. So let's show these again. Kick. And that kick is all right. Let's just keep that one in there, I'd say. And we're going to go straight into a snare, which is there. Sorry, there. And for this one, we're just going to drag it to sort of halfway through. So it's just a really simple alternating kick and snare. Just going to mute this chord. We're actually going to want to turn that down a fair bit as well. So I'm going to bring it down on the slider there. That's about right. So for these now, going back to the kick, one way actually, if I wanted to copy this again across lots of bars, instead of sort of going over here and clicking and selecting the whole thing, if I'd chosen one of the bars and beats options here, like one bar, you can see it puts the one shot at the start there and just has a 1 bar long section, which means I can then click on that really quickly and easily and then duplicate it for as many bars as I like. So I'll do it for 4 at the moment, so we can again go in and create a little fill with our drums. So I'm going to just drag the snare. With the snare we need to drag over it. So I just click like that, drag across, select the whole thing, and then Command D a few more times to get it up to the 4 bars again. Cool, alternating kick and snare, nice and simple. So now let's get some kind of lower level kicks in to get a few fills in there. So I'm going to chop one like that, hold down Command, create a kind of smaller one, and then I'm going to drop the level down. And then for that one, let's go straight to the end here. And let's go maybe there. And let's go back to the snare. And for the snare, we'll just add in an extra one. Do the same thing, actually just hold the Alt key. If you missed this before, by the way, I'm holding the Alt key to temporarily switch to the scissors and then just slicing it. And then I hold down Command to copy it. Then we're going to have another little snare around here maybe. Let's just play that. That's the other way around than I was actually going for there. Sorry, I wanted to have that right at the end actually. Cool. So yeah, you can get into these fills. Obviously, you can do as much as you like there. Let's just copy another one of those over. Oh, undo that. Just copy another one of those over, and then just fill in. Bring the level down again. See, I'm dragging the top edge to bring the level down. And let's just play the drums together and then yeah, just create little lower level kicks throughout that phrase wherever you like, really. Let's move on to, actually no, before we move on to the next sound, let's just copy that out so that it's the right amount long. So I'm going to drag over it again to the start, duplicate it again and again. So we got the 16 bars, drag out the bracket, and then snare, do exactly the same thing. Copy, copy, copy. Now we got the 16 bars. Again, though, I think I'm going to do a kind of breakdown, so we're going to lose these sounds and have something a bit different going on in that particular section. So let's add some percussion now. Click on the next track slot, choose percussion, and then just choose a couple of places for it to go in. So I'm just going to trim it here. Just going to set it to 16th so I can see what I'm working with. Yeah, play around with the rhythms there, get some interesting syncopation going on. I'm going to bring the pitch down a bit though, maybe tune it to the stab. And I'm going to go straight to the next track, and I'm going to add in a closed hat. And if I go to the patterns now, because I haven't really done much of that so far, I can add in one of the different hat patterns. Now there's loads of different trap ones here, as we're in a kind of trap style. But if you want to do your own one, you can also go again to the bars and beats and go with 16ths. And then just kind of turn off and adjust the levels of various ones to kind of make a cool pattern. First though, I'm just gonna, no I'm not, I'm just gonna select them all, which you can do like so. And I'm gonna trim them all, which I'm gonna do by holding down Shift. You can see I'm in the way now, aren't I? And then I'll do it for one of these then. Oh, what have I done there? Let's just zoom into the end so I can see. Bring it down so they're nice and short. And I can also drag in the corner here to add a fade to create that kind of more classic sort of transient-y trap hat. And then just adjust the levels. Because I've made the fade really short though, I'm going to have to do a bit of zooming to do that, because you can't, I stand corrected, you can drag the outer edge as well. I thought you could only do it from there. So yeah, just adjust the levels of these as you like. You know, mute different ones by double clicking on them. Yeah, I'm not going to spend long on this, obviously. It's the kind of thing you could tweak away at for a while when you had more time. Cool, so we'll just leave that there. And again, just kind of click at the edge here, drag over them, and then copy it out as many times as you need to. It's going to get pretty mental going out to the 16 bars. What we might do though, set it back to auto here to make sure I'm at the right place, yeah, is delete some of these again, probably get rid of all of these by just clicking, dragging over them and hitting delete. do something different for the breakdown again. So that's the hat copied out. Let's move on now and get some bass in here. So I'm clicking on track 6. I'm going to go synth bass. Yeah, and then it's brought up these one shots. And for this one, I'm just going to make it really, really simple. So I'm going to go patterns, bars and beats, and one beat. And it's at the wrong pitch at the moment. So the stabs are in A minor. So again, you can see that here, A minor written in the sample name. So I'm going to choose A now, auto tune that. And all I'm going to do is get rid of the sort of upper frequencies in this to make it a bit subby. And I'm also going to add a bit of a fade here. So let's bring in some effects, which we haven't done so far, I don't think. So to do that, actually, sorry, first I'm going to copy it out, just because it's easier to sort of get your effects in last, if you like. Basically sort of sequence things, get them all in place, and then start adding your effects, ideally, just because it makes the sort of copying and pasting like this a little bit simpler. So now we've got 4 there, so that's a bar. Drag over them again. 4 bars. And I'm just going to do that once again here. Come on, D, come on, D. So that is our 16 bars again. Drag the loop bracket out. So let's start to get some effects in here. So click on FX Edit. So for the bass, I want to have a filter. I'll just go for the default for now. And I'm gonna bring, it's a low pass as you can see here. So I'm just going to bring the cutoff down. So we're removing the bulk of the upper parts. Now you can hear the resonance is really high with the default one. So that's why we get that very pleasant but very obvious kind of resonance around this frequency, which might not be something you want. If I want it to be kind of deep and subby and not too obvious, then I want to bring the resonance right down. So there it's just subby. Turn it off, you can hear what it's doing. One thing to say, by the way, about the bird noises, if you are new to LoopCloud, then we're also sort of filtering out the bird noises on that. The bird noise is because I don't own the sample, so it's a lower quality sample that also has sort of atmosphere sound across it. So it's a what the filter's doing is it's cutting that out. But if you are finding that you want, if you want to improve the sound of your sequence as much as possible, then you will need to sort of buy the files there. But equally, if we own them, when we listen to them, we won't be hearing that bird noise on top. So just a bit of information about that. So yeah, so there's the filter rolling off the highs. What we could also do with this is add a filter that cuts out the bass in this second half here. So I'm going to click plus again, go with another filter. This time I'm going to go for one of the utility presets, which is no bass. And let's have a listen to it. So if you've got good monitoring system or good headphones, you better hear that, but it's cutting out all the bottom end there below 200. So what we can do is we could have this kick in around here, which is going to be the start of our breakdown. Let's click there. And then we could also have this cutoff sort of go up to this point. So it can start off lower and then sort of go right up to it. So by the end of the breakdown, maybe even a bit higher, all the bass is sort of disappeared. And if we want this to drop out when it kicks back in, which we do, we don't want this filter to be doing anything, we can actually click on that section while we're in FX edit mode, which is where we're doing this automation here, and we can just hit delete. And then we won't get any of that filtering when the bass kicks back in. So let's hear that with the other parts now. So we've got 2 more tracks here. I'm going to add in a few sounds really quickly. We're actually doing all right for time. I thought this might have taken me a bit longer, but hopefully I haven't rushed through it again. So we're going to click on track 7. We're going to add 2 more sounds, and then I'm going to show you some really kind of fancy bits of automation, how you could make your remixes really special. So we're going to go with ride. There's one ride in this pack. And again, we just want to make it a very simple 1-bar repeating pattern, just like our bass. So I'm going to go bars and beats, 1 beat. And then I'm just going to select it and then duplicate it as many times as I need. I'll go up to the 5-bar mark, so that's 4 bars, and then just drag over them and then duplicate it out a couple more times. Then we've got our 16 bars again. And we're going to have this come in on bar 5. So the first is just the hat. Ooh, click and drag over it. If you're finding, by the way, you're clicking, dragging, nothing's happening, just drag lower down there so you can see the color changing. Then you know that area has been selected, then hit delete. And we're just going to bring the level down. So now let's get rid of these drums from here. So I'm going to click and drag over this one. This is our kick. I'm going to click and drag over the snare as well. So get rid of the snare like that. Before I add the last sound, we're going to do something quite fancy with the stab. So we'll come back to the drums in a moment. Let's just go back to the stab sound. So if we wanted to do something cool here, and this is where live will come in handy, because if I play it from here, let's turn off that for a minute. It's playing it now from the beginning. So if I want to sort of work out something for bar 9, for example, we can just loop that. And I don't have to change any of the brackets in LoopCloud then. And now it's just playing from that point. So let's just solo that. So I'm just going to delete all those. And then we could create a kind of cool pattern here. And now I'm clicking on the pitch tool here, and I'm just going to create a sort of pitch sweep. And this is me showing you how to do it yourself, but I'm going to actually switch over to a preset for this, just to make it a bit easier for you. So let's bring this up. I've got the rhythm wrong here, but it's supposed to be much faster. But as you can see, with the pitch tool selected here, I can just adjust the pitch of these, like so. Make the rhythm faster here. I'm just going to select them all, bring them down to, they're supposed to be 3 semitones each, so bring them down to that. And yeah, just drag them like this to then get the It's going for something like that, maybe go up to the 5th actually. So yeah, so when the breakdown kicks in, you have this kind of really interesting pattern there. But what I'll show you, this actually came from one of the presets that's sort of been inspired by that. So I'm going to delete those and show you how you can add that preset to this section, because I don't want to lose any of the stuff I've done at the beginning here. So what I'm going to do is go to track 8 here, go to stab, get that stab in, and then go to my patterns and go chords and stabs, and then I think it's the rave stabs 2. So it's got this kind of really cool pattern with a few choppier bits there. So what I can do is I can drag over it just like we have been to copy it, mute this for a minute, drop back to our stab at the start here, and then copy it by clicking here to the beginning of bar 9. So now it's copied and pasted that in. I'm going to duplicate it. So now we've got that cool pattern going on in our breakdown there. And then it's going to switch back to our regular pattern when we go back to the normal groove. So now we can add some interesting effects to this. If I go FX Edit, get a filter again, just go with the default one. And I'm going to bring the cutoff right down, and then we're just going to create a long sweep. Again, I don't want it to be happening in the first, so I'm just going to chop it there, get rid of that one, and then bring it down. So we have this sweep across the whole section. But if I want to have the cutoff coming back down at the end here, I can again hold down Alt and then adjust the curve so that it sweeps back down right at the end. So now it's looping the whole thing, obviously. We'll play the whole thing in a bit. I'll keep the loop as it is in live at the moment. Let's just add one more effect, which is going to be a reverb, long cave. Again, I don't want it in the first part, but I could obviously keep it in and just have a lower setting of the controls here. But I'll get rid of it. And what we want is for the size to be increasing across this section, and then coming right down at the end. And then we want the mix to be doing the same. So to adjust that, I just click on size and go with mix. Do exactly the same thing. I have the curve here. So let's just have a very quick listen to that then. Maybe I've gone a little bit mental on the parameters there. It's a little bit too long. Let's bring this down actually. I don't want to spend too long kind of tweaking around with this though. You guys get the idea. But obviously the reverb is picking up through this breakdown, and the filter is also opening up, so we're getting that kind of nice expansion there. So we're going to do a couple of other sort of fancy bits of automation. First of all, just going to add a vocal in on this last track. So I'm just going to clear the stab from there. I'm going to go vocal. There it is. And let's just loop the start for a minute. I think we want a different one. Let's just turn off live a sec. That one's quite nice. Let's auto tune it to A. Bring down the level a bit. Sounded quite nice. Again, I'm just going to click on it, duplicate it out, so we've got it appearing at various points, right up to the end here. So we've got another nice impact now at the start of the breakdown. Might also be nice to have a sort of another impact, and because we've run out of tracks here, we can use one of the other sounds for this. So we could go back to our kick, track 2, and then we could add a long reverb just to this hit here by going FX Edit, plus reverb, long cave. And I'm just going to hold down Alt, slice it, get rid of that. And now we'll just get it kicking in there. So that's kind of sorted that. Two more cool things I wanted to show you just for this session. Again, you can go on tweaking these for as long as you like to kind of really refine them, but we are sort of running out of time. So first up, we could come to our vocal, which is at the end here. I'm going to reverse this. Don't think we've done any reversing yet, have we? Maybe we have. So I'm going to click on it. I think we reversed the crashes, didn't we? Yeah, so I click on this one. So now this vocal's reversed. I'm now going to also drag it over to the start here. So we've got a couple of reverse ones. Bring down the level a little bit, but also I maybe don't want the whole sample here, so I could trim it to adjust it, but you can also scrub, if I go with the scrub tool, to just drag it to a different part of the sample here. Maybe it's not letting me do it because it's butting up against it. Let's just drag it over here and do it. I thought I was doing that earlier on. Pretty sure I did that. So obviously that's not letting me do that, so I'll just trim it instead. Drag it in, and then drag it to there. So that's all working quite well. Maybe I've gone a bit extreme with the stab filter. It seems to be cutting out completely there, but it still sounds cool. So last ones are the end of the section. Again, I'm going to switch back to live and just loop that so I don't have to change any of my loop settings inside LoopCloud, because I want to just mess around with this end part of the vocal so I can just hear that. So I'm going to go FX edit, I'm going to go filter, and this time I'm going to go with one of the LFOs, which is one I use a fair bit, the 16th low pass chops. So it just creates a little bit more energy and rhythm to the end of this section here. I can get rid of that. Yeah, and last one I was going to show was just a ride cymbal, which is this track, and we're just going to add some grain stretch to the very end here because this is kind of cool. So we'll get rid of that one, we'll go FX edit, and we'll add the grain stretch. Just go with the default, turn it right up so it's really stretching it out, and we'll just have it kick in at the very end here. So again, click at the top here, get rid of that, and now check it out with live. Nice little effect there. We could boost the level of it. We could also add some automation to sort of change the sweep amount. And do all sorts of things to it as well. But I thought I'd just show you that effect because it's a nice one for adding these kind of little glitchy touches. And I think we're basically there with everything I wanted to show you.
Hey, Rob, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, can you just show how to save the project file again? Someone was asking, they missed it in the beginning. That'd be awesome.
Oh, cool. Well, I'll show it in 2 seconds. If I just do a playthrough first, and then I think we're probably done. Yeah? Or do you want me to show it right now? I can show it right now as well. It's done in the edit menu.
No, whenever is best for you, my friend.
Yeah, just click on the edit and then you save session. I'll do it again for the end. I figured it'd be good to make these available for you guys to access. We can just add them to the description or something, or give them to you some other way, just so you've got a little reference to what we've been covering. But let's just check out the whole lot now. Drag out my loop bracket here. I mean, it's more or less there. I'd probably do a little bit more to the percussion. It's very dry at the moment, and we actually just kept it as a single loop here, just a 1 bar going around the whole way. So obviously I could duplicate that out. I could add different effects, have it dropping out in certain places, or even just right at the end, and maybe having some reverb come in on the breakdown, or upping the reverb amount. So yeah, I'm going to leave that there. So say I was done with it, again, just edit, save session, and we'll go LC live stream session 2. Save it to my desktop, and that is the file you would then upload to the Dropbox to enter the competition. So let's bring Josh back in. And that's exactly 8 o'clock. That's good.
Yeah, very impressive.
Thanks, man.
Very great sounding beat. Great sounding start to something that could be massive. Well done, Rob.
Hands in the air.
Everybody in the chat is giving you praise.
Oh.
So you've done well.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I just want to point out a couple of other things relating to the contest. You don't necessarily have to even buy any of the samples from the pack to enter the contest.
Yeah.
Because when you save a LoopCloud project file, you just if I have all the samples, I'll be able to hear it, normally, even though you had to produce it with the bird sound. Though I would recommend, if you really want to make your mix right and make everything sound good, just go ahead and when you're ready, purchase, up to 8 samples with your points. It's going to be like maximum 16 points from your LoopCloud wallet or whatever you call it. But that's one of the other beauties of LoopCloud is, if we were doing this back in the day when it was just Loop Masters, you would have had to buy the entire sample pack to enter this contest. But now it's just whatever samples you're definitely going to use, those are the ones you get. And that I think that's awesome, and that's one of the biggest and coolest things in my mind about LoopCloud.
Yep.
Another thing, we know the limitations of 8 tracks and 16 bars, so don't overthink it. Just send us whatever you can do in 8 bars or 16 bars on 8 tracks. Don't worry, we understand that it can't be a 50-track project that we understand what the limitations are, so you won't be judged on the fact that it's not completely evolved into where it will be in the future, but just show us what you can do creatively with 8 tracks and 16 bars. That's what we're looking to do. That's what we're going to be judging these on. We're just looking to have fun, really, and really to see how you guys use LoopCloud. We want to see how you're doing it. We know how we do it, but I'm sure you're doing things that we wouldn't even have thought of. And, if we see something like that, we're going to share it with everybody so we can all learn and evolve as a community, as the LoopCloud community together. I think I'm really looking forward to hearing what you guys can do. And as I said before, for latecomers, full details to the stream, full details to the competition, the prize pool, everything in the description of this video. This will be archived, so if you came in late and you want to watch the beginning, Rob's first project, and listen to what that sounds like and see the techniques that he used there, you can do that. And I think it takes about 5 minutes to upload to the YouTube, but it will be ready for you to watch the whole thing there whenever you want, really. And we're looking forward to it. You got a week from today to get this done, so don't sleep. Get to it and send what you got. Anything else you want to add there, Rob, at the end?
No, yeah. Good luck, everyone. Do we have another giveaway? In fact, do we have anyone to announce as well for the winners so far?
You're absolutely. We do have one more 500-point giveaway to do on the stream right now. If you want to go ahead and comment, we're going to choose one more person, and I'll give it about 30 seconds, and then I will read off the winners. I'm going to wait to get the message about who that third person is, and then we will share those points with whoever those are. I got the first 2. Let me go ahead and jump in here. Too many messages. The winner of the first go around was DJ Sammy. DJ Sammy, you win 500 LoopCloud points from the first section of the live stream.
Awesome.
The second winner was Rod Marconi. That's a very just a standard real name right there. It's
Solid.
Not like we had in the last stream. Do you remember any of the names we had in the last stream, Rob?
I remember they got crazier. Yeah.
So yeah, we got as I said, Rod Marconi and DJ Sammy. You are both winners, and we're going to wait on number 3 is going to be coming in shortly. The winner is Make It Happen. make-it-happen. You win the final 500 points for LoopCloud. Thank you all for tuning in. Thanks again for Rob for another incredible hosting job, another 2 incredible projects. It's not easy to do, folks, live on stream, making music that sounds that good. I mean, obviously with the help of LoopCloud, it's much easier than normal, but it's not easy to do in a short amount of time, and Rob has knocked it out of the park twice now on this live stream. So thanks again, Rob.
Pleasure.
Always doing it. Such an inspiration. Got nothing but love for you. Love the T-shirt.
You too, man. Thanks, man.
And that's it for me. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And, thanks again for tuning in, everybody. And we'll see you in the next stream. It's going to be in 2 weeks' time where we announce the winners or the winner and play some of the top picks from the submissions.
Yeah. Good luck, guys. Look forward to listening to your streams, and we'll